Hello everybody, welcome to Third Space Coffee Break.
Hello, hello. Bet you've never seen the kitchen before. At least not like this from this angle.
We will tell you in a little bit why we are in front of the sink, which we have named. I forget what was it.
I was gonna really
Schmeagle.
Schmeagle.
Yes, that's it.
Oh wait, no wait. I bet you can't guess why we named it Schmeagle. I'm gonna put up a poll. So while we're waiting for people to hop on, take a wild guess. 2 trivia questions. Who's Schmeagle? He's a famous movie character. That's your clue. And second of all, why in the world would we have named this sink Schmeagle? Take a wild guess.
Yes.
And I'll keep polling for a couple of minutes, and maybe Sandy can help us later give the trivia question answers so that people can help us answer. I can answer part of it. Hey, hi Mom, how are you this morning?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. So one highlight about our sink while we're waiting for people to hop on, I gotta say, I know it's a weird place to set up, but I gotta say I love this brick wall. So this building has been here for Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's okay. So this building has been here for a really long time. And this brick wall is original, and it sounds like this brick wall has served a lot of purposes and lived a lot of lives as far as what was done with it, including like hanging pots and pans or being a place where there was a pizza oven. I've heard all different things about what this brick wall was, but it's a really neat feature, and I'm glad we still have it. We still have some things that are very original, including some wood beams and stuff up in the building that are just really cool. So this place has lived a lot of lives, and it's kind of fun to think.
Yeah, we kept what we could.
Yep.
So, well, most of you have heard that we are doing a fundraiser on August 1st. Common Ground is to try to raise some startup costs for Third Space. And we did one of the things we did is a pre-order of cinnamon rolls. And we had the pre-order up for about 12 hours. Might have been more like 16, but no more than that. And we totally maxed out with the pre-orders, which is good for us. Maybe not so good for those who didn't get a chance to order cinnamon rolls, but
yeah, we are super excited about the outpouring of support. Let me just tell you, not only does that give us just an incredible insight into how much the community appreciates Third Space and loves the cinnamon rolls, but let me just tell you, it helps in our planning, and we were just blown away by how quickly we maxed out. So Thank you so much for your support. The
cinnamon rolls were the best seller at Third Space as far as a single item. The cinnamon rolls, definitely, we sold more of those than any other.
Yeah, that's probably a food item was probably
more than any other
our biggest seller. Yeah.
Blueberry muffins and quiches were
they were also
up there, but not as much. But
that sounds good right now.
As the cinnamon rolls. So yeah, so August 1st is our fundraiser. So if you did not get to pre-order cinnamon rolls, you can come. We will have some that we're going to do on a first come first served basis.
We're going to get as many ready day of as we can. So I want you to know, I don't want you to be like terrified that you won't get them again and be waiting here super early. We're going to make as many as we can day of as well. Terrified might be a strong word.
I was going to say terrified. I mean, it does sound a little terrifying to think that I might never get a cinnamon roll again.
That would have been a very strong word. Sorry about that. But we're going to be as generous as we can with the cinnamon rolls we have available day of. And when you come day of, we won't be selling in large quantities because we want to try to avoid people coming in and buying a whole dozen at a time, because that will limit how far our cinnamon rolls can go. So we'll probably be maxed out at like boxes of 4 we'll be selling day of, so we can make them go as far as possible. So if you didn't get your cinnamon roll order in, you still can get cinnamon rolls on August 1st. I would recommend you come a little on the early side. August 1st fundraiser is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay? And
we still have a lot of people asking, like, when is Third Space opening? What's our plan for moving forward? We don't know 100% yet. We actually, the Third Space board has met, and we're going to be just meeting again on Sunday nights, and hopefully to make some decisions about how can we move forward here with getting open. So it is a very tricky thing, of course, in light of COVID restrictions and realizing that it does take a lot of startup costs when you start hiring staff. There's a lot of risk involved. So we're just kind of working through that, trying to discern what would be the best step to go forward. So
Absolutely.
we'll keep you posted as things roll out and we make decisions. So, but go
Going
ahead.
backtrack, one thing I forgot to mention with the August 1st fundraising, going backwards a little bit, just remember if you love our coffee as well, that we will have lattes, brewed coffee, and iced coffees available for purchase the day of our August 1st fundraiser as well. So not only can you have your cinnamon roll pickup, but you can get a great coffee here as well.
Absolutely. Morning, Gary. Good to see you.
All right.
So Common Ground is doing something. We're restarting relaunching a ministry that we had prior to COVID. And so tomorrow we will be busy in the evening with some of the youth, hopefully in York Haven. So we're reopening what we called our Friday Youth Game Nights.
That's right. So we're excited to reopen that opportunity to make connections with the teens. Very much a relaxed setting. We eat way too much pizza usually, or sloppy joes, or hot dogs, or something like that. And just really try to slow life down a little bit for the teens and make good connections here. So going to be lots of Monopoly and lots of other types of board games, checkers and things like that. And so this is definitely a ministry that is open to the community, to the teens. It starts at 6 o'clock in the evening right here at Third Space. And yeah, so it is a super fun time, and we're really excited to be able to relaunch that. So.
Yeah. And our team is looking at options too for how do we continue a connection, since the game night is really only once a month on Friday. How do we stay in contact? How do we be accessible to the youth, if they have questions or they just they need to reach out to someone. So we're looking at a digital hangout space for youth as well, and we haven't discovered the best option for that necessarily, but we are going to try something using Facebook, and we'll see how that works.
Yeah, so exciting stuff. We're just really happy to be able to start to reopen some of these things. Although I will tell you, if you've ever done a Monopoly game on Teen Game Night, just as a sidebar note, one thing about this generation of teens is they will keep the game going for hours and hours and hours. So we have Teen Game Night from 6 to 8 p.m. and we have to, it cracks me up every single time I play a Monopoly game with the kids here, that they will be about ready to, take all the property of another player, and they will decide to just be benevolent over and over and over again. They'll say, oh, you don't have to pay the bill this time, just to keep each other in the game. It cracks me up. So we have these Monopoly games that go on to eternity if we don't intervene. So it is really funny to play board games with teenagers these days. I remember playing Monopoly with my brother when I was a kid, and I was very happy to take his property and win the game, but it's funny to me to do that. But we have some great kids in the neighborhood, so we're really excited to see who comes out.
Yeah. Well, do you want to introduce
Yeah,
our guest?
so we have a special guest today, and before I step out of the frame, so bear with me, I am going to cross the camera's path here for just a second, but remember we had two trivia questions, so I'm just going to remind everybody, if you're on, this is the sink, obviously at Third Space, ironic placement for our video footage today. Our sink's name is Schmeagle, and so the trivia for today is, who was Schmeagle? He's a famous movie character. Who was Schmeagle? And why in the world would we name our sink Schmeagle? This is a really good question. So be thinking about the trivia for a minute if you're online and watching. We'll be answering the questions in just a couple minutes, but I want to introduce to you somebody who's super special to me, and that is Pastor Sandy Rexroad. So I'm going to swap places, and Sandy's going to step in here. All right.
Woo, 3 cheers for Pastor Sandy.
So welcome to Pastor Sandy, and to Sandy, I just have to say, just being able to say to Sandy that I just have loved working with you. You are my favorite person here. We have so much fun in this kitchen. I shouldn't say favorite, I have a lot of favorites, but we just had so much fun in the kitchen, didn't we? It was a blast. You are such a joy to work with. That smile that you see on Sandy's face is the same smile that she's got all the time. So we just had a blast. No matter how many mountains of dishes there was, Sandy was still smiling. So I just love that about her. All right, so Sandy, I'm wondering if you can tell us a couple things about yourself here as we kick off this interview with Sandy, the Supreme Dishwasher of Third Space. So how long have you been connected with Common Ground and Third Space, and how did that come to be?
Well, I got contacted one day
You got contacted.
We were ministering up the street here in the building, and when my husband passed, I was ministering, pastoring the congregation at that time. We get a phone call. I think it was a phone call, but anyway, they contacted us and said they'd like to come and talk to us. And these people had from Mount Wolf, and they had a vision, and they came and they shared their vision with me, which was kind of neat because we were wondering what our next step was supposed to be as a congregation up there. And they said that maybe we could merge together. That's how we came to find common ground. And so it was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
I wanted to pray about it, and I wanted to think about it, and one of the members of our board said, "Oh yeah!" I wanted to say, "Oh, I didn't know what to say."
That's so funny.
But anyway, we talked about it, and we decided, yeah, that was pretty much what God was having us do, and it was all different. I mean, I didn't know which way to turn it sometimes, but we came together and we began to merge a little bit. We had a lot of us had different ways of doing things, and that was fine. We just had to yield to one another and so forth. So that's how we came about to be in common ground. There's no regretting it at all. I think I grew some more,
We did too.
yeah, and learn to yield to things that were a little uncommon to us or something, but yeah, that's how we got involved.
So common ground, and you were pastoring a church that was called Faith Covenant up the
That's
street, and we all merged together and became one common ground,
On common ground.
which is really cool.
I know.
And we have been so blessed by the partnership. We've learned so much from you.
Yeah, well, yeah, I learned a lot too. And I need to learn more, but
Vice versa.
Before you ask your next question, Rick Kopp sends his love.
oh yes.
And we'll send it back to Lori, because Sandy and I both have a dear sweet love of his wife Lori, and
Lori.
Rick, we love you too, but yeah, give Lori our love.
Yeah, for
Awesome.
sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then Lori since she was pretty young. Yeah, but
So we just talked about how Common Ground and Faith Covenant came together to be one common ground, but then Third Space happened.
Yes.
Okay. So what interested you in becoming a volunteer at Third Space, and tell us about what you did while you were here?
well, this whole thing was right down my alley, to deal with food. And my father owned a restaurant and that kind of thing. I liked the idea, and not only that, I felt we had a vision. Let me just back up a minute. We had a vision for the community when we first came here, and that was like 15, 17 years ago. And we received a lot of buff about it, what are you going there for, and that kind of thing, because of the reputation of the town. But we knew that God wanted us here. And then you guys come along, and we had this vision. And the neat thing is, our vision, we wrote it down, and the vision that y'all shared with us was almost identical, and we knew that we were on the right track. So this was very appealing to me because of the food and everything. But not only that, to me it's like an oasis.
Yeah.
It's a place where people can come and they can just sit, and places where we can make food for them, but we can also listen to them and pray with them and just share our hearts with them. And so it was a lot more than just business. It's a place for people to be safe and come in and be accepted, and that's what really appealed to me, that we had that freedom.
That was a beautiful way to describe it. I love that concept of just a place of safety, a place of refuge, kind of, because the world, it knocks us around a good bit, and so being able to be together, just on level ground and just is a beautiful thing. This is a safe place, and that is what we wanted it to be. And so what did you do here at Third Space? What was your primary role?
Wash dishes.
I
love it.
Yes.
I love to do it with wash dishes, and so Schmeagol and I are very close.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, and I just appreciated the opportunity.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I just can't do very well, and like make coffee, I'll do those things. I mean, I know how to make coffee, but not lattes and things like that, but I can serve people here. And the neat thing about it is I can wash dishes, but I can also, I'm free just to speak to the people that come in. I'm not bound by anything. If dishes are piled high, they'll get done.
Yeah.
But I enjoy doing the dishes.
Yeah.
I think it's a privilege. And I like to keep things in order.
Yeah. You do, and you have a gift for it.
Yeah, I like
Oh,
to do that.
Sandy was so good at organizing the back
Yeah, I like to
room.
do that.
You kept us in good shape. My goodness.
Yeah, I had a plan.
Yeah, you did. You are the master organizer, absolutely. Master organizer, master floor sweeper, master. I mean, there was no dust gathering here. Sandy took good care of everything and kept us clean and working good.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I really enjoyed it. And as I started out, just helping out as I could when the building was being renovated. But I got more involved as time went on and was working regularly about 3 days a week.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not work. It's really a blessing. It's a serve. To be able to serve people is really good.
Yeah. Oh, you were a treasure to us too, because as much as you were serving the people who came in the doors, you sure were serving us too. It was wonderful. So do you have any memorable moments of Third Space, things that pop out in your mind that you'd like to share?
Well, there is one thing that popped into my mind, but it was done here at Third Space, but it was, let me just back up a minute. People in the community seem to have all their doors locked. And we want to see doors unlocked. And there was this one man who was sick, and he was on dialysis, and he came and called me one day, and he had me come over and wanted to talk, and he and his wife were there, and he said that he was on dialysis, but he was going to stop. So we knew what that meant, that he would, unless God did a miracle, he was not going to live very long. So anyway, he wanted to be baptized, and I remember we gathered around him here on the porch because he couldn't be immersed in the water. So he was on the porch and we baptized him. I think Pastor Dan poured a little water on him or something. But it was so neat. It was so neat because he wanted that so badly because he knew it. I think he passed away then within the next week or so. But he gave me his Bible. And I get a little emotional about it because he was so serious about it. He wanted me to have his Bible. And I was so blessed by that. That was one memorable thing. There's a lot of things with the kids, just working with the young people. That I've had such a heart for the young people in the community.
Yeah.
That was a blessing to be able to be part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is an incredible memory to realize that those things were happening right here as this building was developed, and in that entryway that people cross that threshold all the time. That something so sacred and so special as baptism occurred right there on those front steps. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Did you have any favorite food or drink items here at Third Space that you really enjoyed while you were working here that stand out to you?
Yeah, I did. I liked that hoagie sandwich.
That was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was excellent. I really enjoyed that when I had one. I didn't have it very often. Usually we were making them for others, but they were really good. And, well, I don't know that, cinnamon buns.
Cinnamon buns and your famous drink. What did you always put in your cup? Every morning we would make one for you.
Decaf coffee.
Decaf. And you know what? We got her switched over from a decaf coffee to a decaf. Do you remember what it was?
No.
Decaf Americano. Do you remember when you started drinking Americanos?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were good, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're real good.
What did you put in?
And the Americanos are so good. That is an espresso drink that it's basically espresso and hot water. So it's a little bit stronger of a coffee drink, but it was pretty tasty.
Kept me moving.
Yes, right. And Sandy, I'm gonna swing back to the dishwashing sink and then we'll close with something special from you. But so going back to the trivia, did anybody comment on the trivia or do we just announce the answers? Okay, so in case you're wondering, so the sink, we named the sink Schmeagol. Schmeagol was a character from The Lord of the Rings. And he was kind of rather a hunched over kind of a character that was just not, he looked like he wasn't doing very well, let's put it that way. So we named the sink Schmeagol for a specific reason because of what happened to us after washing dishes at the sink for many hours. We all thought we looked a little bit like Schmeagol when we tried to straighten up. Yeah, so let me just tell you, that is why he has the name that he has, but we're grateful for him. So, and then to close out just our interview time with Sandy, you have been in this community for far, far, far longer than we have. So Common Ground's been here for some time, but you've been here much longer.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know you love the community. I know you love the Word of God, and I know you love the kids, and it's just evident in all these things that you do. And I just wondered if there's any special Bible passages or thoughts or reflections you'd like to share as we close down your interview.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was reading through some of my I log and did things in notebooks, and I was reading over them, and on one of the pages at the top it said, I had John 3:16. Well, I knew that. I knew that ever since I was a kid. That's one, you always get a star on the calendar if you could remember it, and so I don't know how I'm going to explain this, but I'm going to try. For God so loved the world. When I got a hold of that, it was like I saw the love. I saw him. He's the love, and it was so real to me. I cried for a little bit. I laughed for a little bit. I danced and jumped for a little bit, but it was just a reality to me that I know that he is love, and this love never fails, ever fails. He is true to his word, and he will stand with us no matter what. And through all of this that we're going through now, he's going to bring good out of it. I really believe that with my whole heart. But that scripture just it's a familiar one, but there's so much to it. So much to it. God is love, and his love never fails. And I was just so thrilled with it. And I'm concerned about the fear that people are experiencing, and this love casts out fear.
Yes, it does.
And so I want people to know that they're loved. I want them to know that they're important, that they are a child of a king.
Yeah.
That's what I want them to know.
Yeah, and we hope to be as Common Ground, and as Third Space hopefully reopens, we hope to just continue to share that love with others.
Amen.
And be a part of the manifestation of God in our
I
midst,
know,
right?
I know,
Right?
yes.
And we do it washing dishes, sweeping
Yes.
floors, making salads, whatever it is,
Yeah.
or cinnamon buns, or whatever it is that we're called to make. So we are so grateful for your time this morning, Sandy. Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us and for sharing your time with Third Space. We love, love, love having you as part of our lives.
Thank you.
And for everybody on the coffee break, thanks for joining us this morning. We hope that you have a blessed day. And as always, we leave you with peace and blessings in the name of Jesus.